Hey everyone, welcome back to Trail Talk for another Friday night. Let's get Ricky in. I've had an interesting week. We'll talk about that. There's Ricky. How's it going, mate?
Yo, what's happening?
What's happening is lots of shit, and we're going to get into it. So, first up is Trail Talk Live. It's a Friday. I might feel a little bit rusty. I've been down. You getting the coffee in? You get the tea in?
Tea, lad,
Tea.
tea.
Mate, wait do you hear this? I have been bad for 3 days, now sick, and I have had more cups of tea than even you could drink. But let me intro the show first. This is Trail Talk Live, live every Friday night. Catch up on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your pods from Saturday. We're going to talk about the news, we're going to talk about the drama, we're going to talk about the banter, we're going to talk about the WhatsApp group. First off, we're going to talk about life and training. What is the crack? Ricky Wynn.
First off, I know you were sick, so I wanna say I hope you're feeling better now. And I have to say you're a good patient because you were sick pretty bad for 2 days, and I didn't hear any whinging or moaning out of you. All I heard was I've been sick for the last 2 days, and I was like, I didn't even know you were sick. So kudos to you for not being a bit of a bitch.
Mate, if I am turning to you for sympathy whenever I'm sick, then I'll need to check my phone book. Maybe I was phoning my daddy.
Yeah, yeah.
My brother brought me around some soup and some bread, and I got through it on toast and tea. Mate, I had about 6 cups of tea a day at least.
I'm telling you, man, like that's how I hydrate. I just drink tea. I just drink tea and coffee. Tea after like 4 o'clock, about 6 cups of it, and that hydrates the shit out of me. Like,
See Wayne in the chat there. Luckily, I didn't get anything in the chest. It was just like a stomach virus. I must have picked it up last weekend at the Trail Talk day, the
mm.
group meet, either on the Saturday in the pub or whenever we went out on the Saturday night for something to eat. So I picked it up then. Look, I did a long run on Tuesday, and it was but the last half hour. I was coming back and I was like, oh my legs, I felt like, oh, the DOMS is hitting me from the hill reps the day before. This is this isn't feeling good. But I got home and every time I put my leg down and the shock coming through the legs was just so sore. It's like, this is the worst DOMS in the world. And then over the course of the next 4 hours in home, I had like gone back into like the corner of the room with a blanket blanket over me. The lights were out. I couldn't look at my phone because the light was hurting my eyes. But ChatGPT was my general practitioner, helping me out, telling me what to do, and I got through it okay. But look, enough about that. What about you? How's your week gone?
Yeah, like I was telling you, like my head is in the sand at the minute because I'm busy at work and then busy trying to get on top of the miles. And this week so far has been pretty solid. We'd say I'm only back from a 40K run today. I got rained off at work, so like when you get rained off at work, you go for a long run. So I did
What are you gonna do?
40K. Yeah, exactly. So I'm up. I'm ahead of the game now, and yeah, look, races after this weekend, the race is 4 weeks out. Your race is a lot closer, right? But my race is 4 weeks out. And 4 weeks might sound like, oh, that's a long time away, but it's not. It's not when you're kind of scared of a race and you kind of think that you could do it another week or two, And I think that's a good way to feel at the minute where I'm kind of afraid, I'm kind of nervous, I'm kind of anxious, but that's all good. That's all good in the lead up to the race, I think.
How would you feel if your race was twice the distance?
Mm.
You had to fly there in 2 flights across 26 hours, and it was only 3 weeks away, and you'd done a lot less training. How would you feel?
Like hypothetically, yeah, we're talking about you realistically. Yeah, so you're, I,
3 weeks today, mate.
yeah, honest to God, I wouldn't like to be in your shoes. I wouldn't. I feel like my prep for this race has gone really well. I feel like my Strava graph is steadily going that way, and I feel all the things are moving in the right direction, and I'm still not entirely happy with everything. You know what I mean? Because look, are we ever? But you were kind of like going in the right direction. Everything was going in the right direction, and then all you need is something like what you got this week to like completely turn everything on its head. You like turn the cart upside down, and like it makes you kind of doubt yourself and whatever. But look, we've all been there. You're long enough in the game, and I know well that on the day you'll be fine. But at the
I don't
same
need
time, it's not ideal. It's not
I don't
ideal.
need the pep talk. I don't need the pep
Yeah,
talk.
yeah,
Yes, this week was meant to take the Strava graph on a little bit and then into the 3 week slow decline. And yeah, I just realized today that actually last week will have ended up being my peak week. And last week wasn't impressive. Okay, I've maybe done 4 weeks at 12 hours. And I'm having to think about it in time because every other metric is shite. I feel like maybe over the next, because I'm going to run the next 2 days, I'm not going to do the race on Sunday
yeah,
because I've also, the foot has given me a few issues from the race last week. And just felt like, with the stomach issue and the foot, I just thought, well, think about that you're resting the foot. So Lorcan in the group, the physio foot specialist, he gave me some exercises to do. So I've been laid up sick. And apart from the first day, I've been doing 3 sets of 10 things with my big toe.
yeah.
So
But
we've been working what we can.
but that means now I had a feeling you weren't going to do that race because like that's any race in the mornings. It's a long race. That was going to be what 21 or 22K
Yeah.
with and it's in the mornings. Anything in the mornings with 20 plus K is a beast of a race.
Well, the
But,
last time
but
I run it, it was just under 3:30 time wise. So it's like marathon effort.
well, you can go with me Sunday because I'm back up Sunday.
The only thing I'll be doing with you on Sunday is going for something to eat.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, let's move it on. Yeah, look, big weekend of racing in Ultra Trail everywhere. We'll run down some of it and then we'll dig into a little bit of it. Canyons,
Mm.
Madeira Island Ultra Trail, Mount Fuji 100, Golden Trail, Grand Trail Mont Ventoux in France. Skyrunning is back on a back-to-back weekend. And yeah, there's a load of other races even in the UK. A couple of trail talkers are running. Dr. Zach, we call him. He's racing the Felsman.
Fun.
Very stout race in the UK. Classic race, one that I would love to do.
Mm.
Never get around to doing that, I'm sure. And then Kev is doing the classic Brighton to London, one of the oldest ultras in the world, actually, that. Not on my bucket list at all, but fair play to him. 100K is 100K, no matter what way you slice it.
That's it. It's an ultra. It's 100K. It doesn't matter if it's flat, if it's in the mountains. It's 100K. Like yeah.
Do whatever
Mm.
interests you. That's the name of the game. But look, let's start off with canyons. Report comes through that 4 inches of snow due at the start of the 100K.
Just saying that. Just saying that. Yeah. So that's going to be crazy. But there was something like that 2 years ago. Am I right? 2 years ago there was wild weather, but as the day goes on, it dissipates and it warms up, and it might be a bit sloppy, but I mean it's still going to be a fast race.
Yeah, but even tracking the weather all week in Celsius for us, it was like 13, 14 degrees. For us, we would think that's class running weather. For the Americans, that would be a wee bit, well, for the Californians, that would be a bit cold for them.
Yeah.
Um, but look, I want to hear some of your picks for the 100K. There's so much going on. I think that's where we go. But look, let's go with the 100K now. So give me your top 5 women.
Yeah, like I think in both men and women, it's especially in the men, it's stacked. It's a stacked race. There's I'd say at least 10 guys that can all finish in that top three in the men's. I think the women's is a bit more spread out. I think that there is quality there, but I think there is only about maybe 6 or 7 top females in there, and I'm going with I'm going with. You'll notice this, right? In my picks, there's 2 picks in there that are like kind of like the heart wants what the heart wants, right? That's kind of how I'm going for it. I'm not going off like where they are. I'm not going off previous results. I'm going off. I have a soft spot for these people, right? So
Come on, then. Let's hear it.
number 5, and could definitely finish in the top 5 is Arden Young. Arden Young, I just think I'm a big fan of her, and I really think she's got a big race in her, and it could happen. It could happen this weekend.
Nor
Yeah.
fan.
Big Nordic fan, so I'm gonna go for Arden. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I want you just run them all down. I'll go after you.
Yeah. So then I'm going with Keely Henniger in 4th. Keely's solid. I think I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure how well she'll go, but at the same time, she's one of those athletes you can't ever rule her out. So I'm sticking her in at 4th.
She has the caliber to win that race, and the only reason that I was sort of thinking about her on my picks is she's been focusing on the medical career, and although she's still been training, she might be rusty in terms of racing.
Yeah.
So like she's definitely got the legs for it, but maybe a wee bit race rusty. So yeah, still a good shout.
Yeah. Third and second are 2 close ones, and I went with Katie Asmuth in 3rd, and I went with Marianne Hogan in 2nd, and that could easily flip on the day. I think that could easily flip on the day, right? And then that puts me with number 1 top spot going to Emily Hawgood, and I'm a huge fan of Emily. I actually think that Emily has put in a big training block, and I think she's like, this is obviously she's focused on Western States, but I really think she'll have a good race here this weekend. She's on kind of home trails here. She loves this kind of a race. It suits her down to the ground, and I think she'll get the win this weekend.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. I think she's got a big race in her. It's just waiting. It's just going to happen. These are her trails. She's been on fire forever. Yeah. So, yeah, good top 5. People in the chat, who do you think is, who's in your top 5? Let us know some of your picks. Before I get going, let me just shout out Xmiles, xmiles.co.uk, our nutrition sponsor for the show. UK shop, head over there, use code IRunOverMountains and get all your gels and shit. And I even seen that somebody bought a Pace Pro chorus with a discount code this week. So, Ricky, we've made about 15 quid off that. So,
sweet. The starter's on you this Sunday.
So look, my top 5. I've got in 5th place Anna Loudon, probably rocking the tantrums vest. Anna she's just quick. She's on fire. Training's been going well, and these are like home trails. So I think she's definitely top 5. Could easily go better than that. I've got
Yeah, it's a good show.
Sarah Beale in 4th, super fast. I don't know about the snow coming in. I haven't. These aren't my snow picks.
Yeah.
There's potential for change here, but 3rd place I've got Emily Hawgood, and you know what? I actually had her down as maybe winning as like a higher place, but then whenever I went through the other picks, whenever you see her I picked for 1st place, I'm a big fan of my 1st place pick, and I think she's like lethal runner and racer. But I've got Canadians in P1 and P2. I've got Marianne Hogan in 2nd.
Yeah.
Because when she's on, like she's like you. She's like a little pocket rocket, like fast as fuck and small.
She's class. She's
yeah.
class, like,
and can do anything, and so much fun as well. So like I've got Marianne Hogan in 2nd, and then I've got Jasmine Luther in 1st.
She's a great shout. And when I was looking at the picks, I was like, do do I put her in there in my top 5 or in my top 3, let's say? And it was just more the fact that I had Arden there, and I just want Arden to do well, right? But I think she definitely is going to be in the mix, yeah. But we're both second with Marianne. Like I think we're both on the money with Marianne, I think.
Yeah. And yeah, look, the heart does not pay out fantasy
It did.
picks, fantasy
It
points,
it
fantasy
has for me.
points.
It has for me. Set ruling was the win in the bag for me, and that was purely out of like just the want for him to win. I didn't go off anything. It was just that's who I wanted to win.
That's true. And actually, I think you just ahead of me in the league. One place ahead of me, which is all like that's all fluke, mate. There's not a chance that you've put the
if
same amount of thought into your picks as
no,
me. It hasn't happened.
if I'm ahead of you in Fantasy Free Trail, or any of you that are watching, you haven't a clue, lads. Because if I'm beating ye in Fantasy Free Trail, ye haven't a clue. Because I'm terrible at this.
This is the viewer's opportunity to beat Ricky Wynn, Ireland's fastest ultra runner. Join the Trail Talk League, and every race you have the opportunity of beating him because you're not going to beat him on the trails. Right, moving over to the men. Hit me with your top 5.
Yeah, this I think the men's is stacked. The men's is stacked, and there was a lot of to and fro. There was a lot of maybe I shouldn't have went with him. I shouldn't have went with him. And it was all right. Just stick some names down, right? So I had this guy in to do well in Black Canyon, right? I had him in to do really well in Black Canyon, and he just didn't have a day. And that's Mackay Clemens. I think Mackay is coming back, and he's going to have a day, and he's going to get himself in 5th. I'm sure he would like much higher than that, but and could go higher than that. But I'm going to stick him in there for 5th, and I think he is a weapon, and he's only getting stronger. 4th place, because again, I'm almost more a fan of this guy than I don't exactly know how well he's trained, or because he had a few injury problems. That's Anthony Constales. I think Anthony is fast as fuck, and I just like the guy. So he just gives he's got good vibes. He's cool. He's a little bit badass, and he can run fast. So I'm throwing Anthony in there, and but both of those could beat my 3rd place pick. Both of those could. But they're not getting my 3rd place pick because Zach Miller is getting my 3rd place pick. And I don't think this is Zach Miller I don't think it's his race, right? I don't think it's his style. But at the same time, I'm not ruling Zach Miller out of a podium. No way. You know, he's like, again, super fan. The heart wants what the heart wants, but he's in at number 3 for me. And then the top two boys that have been training a little bit together, going by socials, and it's which do I go for? And it's going to be funny because for the 3rd week in a row, after this, I'll tell you this. Yeah, I'll get to it after. I am really crap setting up a joke. But 2nd place is Rod. I'm putting Rod Farvard in there in 2nd place. And then for our 3rd week in a row, talking about poopies.
Well played.
Yeah, I can't see past Poopy. I think that Rod will push him tight. I think if Rod's on form, and he looks like he's on form, he looks like he's trained well for this race, and he is quality. But I just think that the form that our guy Poopy is on at the minute is through the roof. His confidence has got to be sky high. He's been out in Mammoth training for the last couple of weeks. He's been banging out some huge miles, and I can't see past him for the win.
I love that we have now connected Francesco Pupi with actual
Yeah,
Pupi.
yeah, isn't it deadly? Isn't
It's
it?
never happened before.
Yeah, yeah.
We've always given that respect, but now he's the 3rd week in the row of talking about poop.
And then, like, this is where I'm at. Coming home from Sligo, right? Coming home from the trails where I was. coming home off a 40K run, I should be like tired and wanked and whatever, wrecked or whatever. And in my head, I'm thinking about this kind of do you know what? That's funny. We're actually going to be talking about crap and poopy for 3 weeks in a row now. That's what I was thinking about.
He would not appreciate that.
Yeah.
Look, good picks. My picks are from pre-Zach Miller entry, and I'm not sure if I should adjust my picks because I don't know. Is he not going to focus on hard rock?
Yeah, I don't know. You're allowed. I'll allow you to, like, if you want to say you pick something else because now you see Zach in there. So I'll allow that if you want to change your picks.
I mean, I'm a big Zach Miller fan, but look,
Mm.
let's do the top
Yeah.
five, and then we can discuss it or think about it. So in fifth place, I have Cody Lind.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think he's now with Terex. You know, knows that place, quick. He's just always there. Maybe just doesn't get the headlines. So I got Cody Lind in fifth.
Yeah.
Got Hans Troyer in fourth. I think the guy is having a great season. Definitely on the ascendancy over the past couple of years, and had a bit unlucky earlier on in the season. So I think he's coming back all guns blazing, and he has the talent. Um, Jeff McGavro in third.
Yeah. I was going to throw him in there as well. Yeah.
I think he's the type of guy who is just good at anything that he does, and he's showing up to this, and I think he'll throw down. So I've got him in third, and then mate, we're snapsies on P2 and P1. So yeah, Rob Farford in second, and Francesco Pupi in first. We're so immature, mate.
So is everybody watching this. It's fine. It's fine. Here, a point to note, right? A point to note is everyone you named and everyone I named in the 3, 4, 5 spots, right? And I think that goes from fourth, fifth, sixth, all the way down to 10th. It's stacked with talent uh, of a similar kind of,
Caliber.
yeah, caliber, and they're all very good at racing hard. They're all very, very fast college runners that can run 5Ks in probably 13 or 14 minutes. They're weapons, but they all kind of get sucked into that trap and blow up. And that's why it's so exciting to watch these American races because they're so different than the European races. And this is what I was thinking about with Poopy is what they all can run super fast, right? And they're all very, very talented lads. But I always question their tactics and their race strategy. Whereas I think Francesco is a little bit cagier and a little bit smarter, but just as quick. And that's why I think Poopy will get the win over all of those. And that's no disrespect to any of those Americans. It's just their style and Francesco's style. I just think there's a little bit more maturity coming from Francesco.
Yeah, I think Francesco is the type of guy that puts himself into things when he thinks he can
Mm.
do well. Like, I'm ready to step up the distance. I'm ready to win this. I'm ready to own this space. So I see him going out. He has the pace, he has the confidence, and he's been training with Rod. And you know who we think would have won if Poopy wasn't there? Rod.
Yeah.
So, like, he can't. I think it's going to be, as you say. I think he has the race smarts to go out and get it combined with his talent. But
Mm.
like, think of some of the other names we don't have in the top five. Eric Lapuma,
Yeah.
uh, Justin Grindelwald, Jackson Cole, Adam Murray, Brian Curl, Ryan Montgomery, uh,
Hannes.
Hubiter, Hannah. Yeah, I wanted to
Yeah.
talk about him actually. Hannes Namberger. So, what do you think about Hannes going and racing this?
Yeah. It's a funny one because I don't know. Has he raced in America before? Has he raced in one of these kind of races before?
U.S.
Yeah.
U.S. Virgin.
Yeah. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's what it is. It's sort of like I want to race in America this year, but I just don't think it's his kind of a race at all. Like, it's you'd be sticking him in a big mountain race, you know what I mean? And not this kind of a fast, runnable course. So yeah, that's why I don't have him in my top five. I do well to have him inside the top 10, to be honest with you. I think if he does get inside the top 10, it'll be a sneaky little ninth or something.
Yeah, I think it's hard to beat Americans on American style courses
Mm.
because the running's very different. And I heard Tim Tollefson say that, oh, like Hannes's time at Lavaredo was quicker than Tim Tollefson's, and like that's ultra running maths, mate. That means fuck all.
Yeah,
I mean, that means absolutely nothing. Hannes comes from downhill skiing background. He has legs of steel, and that suits him for the mountains because he can just like give him loads of descending, and he can still continue, and he's just very durable. This is running.
yeah,
This is a lot of running and fast running as well. So uh, yeah, I don't. It's interesting that he's there, and it'll be a good kind of benchmark. But I think the main thing to come away from that is a lot of Americans will go, "Oh, I beat Hannes Lamberger. I could win Lavaredo."
yeah, yeah. But that is exactly it, and that's kind of like to the point I was making about like they're all very similar runners, the American guys. It's just that style, right? It's that, and it's lovely. Do you know? To be honest with you, like there was something we were talking about in the chat earlier on about like what you carry on your run on handhelds and all that. And I'm a big fan of running minimal. All I ever want to wear is a belt and maybe a handheld and just run free and that's the way the Americans do it, and I love that. Like when I'm looking at Gorge Waterfalls, which is a trials race for the worlds, they're running with fucking handheld bottles. We say I have to run for the Irish team in the Granite Peaks with a pack and mandatory gear and this, that, and the other, and aid stations in the middle of nowhere that nobody can get to. Like, and I'm very jealous of them running around with nothing on them.
You're getting all the specificity in the world. Those guys that are qualifying for the US team at Gorge are running partly on a bike path, partly on gravel. Like every single hill on the Gorge 100 course is very runnable, even in
Yeah,
100K. Been there, done it, ran it. So
yeah, that's why I'm jealous. I'm jealous.
it's your sort of race.
Yeah, I'm very jealous. Yeah.
All right, let's move off canyons because there's a few other things. We'll just run through some of the other news because we are coming up on time. And then just a reminder for everyone, if you can't stay for the rest of the show, catch up on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, wherever from tomorrow. This is Trail Talk Live. Links in bio to the sponsor, to the podcast, wherever. Um, yeah, Madeira Island Ultra Trail starts tonight. Classic UTMB prep run for a lot of runners going back several years. All of the greats did this as like their season opener, or maybe they did like a Transgran Canaria and then a Madeira Island Ultra Trail. So Katie and Germain, now with On, obviously standout favourites for this race, big time. What do you think?
Well, definitely Katie. Anyway, like she's definitely going to be the top runner in the female side of the things. Anyway, even in the overall standings, I can imagine Katie will have a good race in her, and it'll be nice for the two of them to be running their first race back where kind of all began for the two of them. So yeah, it's hers to win. Jermaine, I don't know. Like yeah, he's solid. He is solid, but like, will he win it? I don't know if he'll win it. Maybe top three, top five.
Top three, top five? No, he'll be first, second, or third. Like if you think about, we'll not dig too much into this, but I have him as taking the win, just because. I mean, maybe a bit of a hard one there. It'd be nice for them both to win, but Miguel Arsenio is probably the top UTMB index score there. And then Jean-Philippe
Yeah,
Schumi, who,
yeah,
I mean, he's an aging athlete, and I mean, when I'm saying aging, he's in the 40 category, but also very solid, wins so much, does so well. So that's who he's racing against. Certainly Miguel is probably maybe the favorite, but lesser known than Germain. So anyway,
yeah, yeah.
interesting. Anyway, that starts tonight. and it's one of those ones that we can follow along on live trail.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, Canyons isn't on the live trail. We can't watch that live.
Yeah, no live stream for that,
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, we've talked enough about canyons. It's a shame.
yeah,
There's no way to follow it, but you know what? We've shit to do.
yeah.
We've shit. You can't be sitting at your TV watching running all day. It's running season.
Wouldn't be
You
able.
have to get out and
That's
run.
true. That's true.
I'm
That's true.
behind, mate. I'm behind. I've got to do my best to not catch up on about 6 hours of running this weekend. Maybe I'll get five. Maybe I get five. I don't want to do anything silly.
Yeah,
Other race going on right now is Ultra Trail Mount Fuji, or Mount Fuji 100 as it's now called. Uh, One of the rounds of the World Trail Majors. A notable thing there is Tyler Green, Nike athlete from Seattle or Pacific Northwest area, not Seattle, and Portland. And our friend Sean Howarth is over filming for Nike stroke Tyler, putting together short films. So shout out to Sean. I'm sure that's going to be amazing. He has a great lens. Any thoughts on Mount Fuji? Kind of flies by the wayside now because there's a lot of athletes we don't really know.
yeah. See, that's it. And again, that's another side of the World Trail Majors. Is it really? Is it really what they wanted it to be? You know what I mean? And are they getting the runners in the mix? I don't think so. Like, I don't think there's any big names in their, bar Tyler, we'll say, in Fuji. That's why I'm putting him at number one for that race, just because he's the most well-known athlete in the race, I think.
To
To
us,
us,
I mean,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
it's Western bias,
yeah,
and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just like what you can read is what you can read,
yeah,
and that's it. But he is in the group just behind the leader, and we know that he's a fast second half runner. So shout out to Sean and Tyler, and then big race in Europe, Grand Trail, Mont Ventoux, 100K. Where do you hear this for stacked? Thibaut Grevier, Ben
mm.
Demon, Baptiste Chakisny, I can't say his name, I always fuck that up, and Bart Pedonetsky, the Solomon Golden Trail guy, 100K debut. That's a solid four ball up at the front.
Yeah, definitely. And I know you're a big Ben fan, right? So you're probably picking him for the win. But I mean, Tabo and Baptiste, they're not going to let him have it all his own way. That's for sure. So that's actually going to be one of the other races of the weekend to watch, or to keep an eye on, because those top four, that'll be a proper race.
Yeah, totally. Look, Baptiste, he's now with On as well, moved from Nike, and I, I'm not like Thibaut. I like Thibaut, but I don't think he's been putting together first place like finishes among the best of the best lately over the last few years. So I think it's there for Ben, but it's going to be a race, and
Yeah.
Bart's a racer. Is he gonna take it easy? How's he going to race? Like it's his first 100K. Is he thinking? I mean, you can't let the people go, but you can't burn all your matches. So that'll be an interesting one to follow.
Yeah. And like, it's an interesting one with Tebow as well, right? Like, we know his quality. We know he's a fantastic runner, and he hasn't just put it together for that 100K distance yet. But it's coming. Like, I think two things are either going to happen. It's either going to happen, or he's going to break himself trying to make it happen, and he's going to end up with nothing, or maybe never winning another big race again. That's where I kind of fear for him at the minute, because he's a little bit in the middle of nowhere at the minute with his results, and that has an effect on your mental side of the game, definitely. So I really hope that he can put something together and bang out a big race.
Yeah, maybe he can't take it to the next level,
Mm.
and I guess there's has to be some acceptance at some point. But interesting race, and we'll see how that goes. Golden Trail World Series, China, the big wall thing, Great Wall of China race. Not much to say about that,
No.
so we'll not dwell on it. And also, skyrunning is in Malaysia after last week's Sky Race de Medicine in France. So back to back there. one comment on the Skyrunning series is, the way they've grown compared to Golden Trail, they have so many races now, but it's global. And somebody said on a show or something that it's looks like it's maybe diluted. And like, okay, maybe if you're thinking about diluting the names that we know, but maybe in the same way as the World Trail Majors, but in a better way because it's short distance, because it's Skyrun, because it's like the entry, it's like the first run of the ladder in my view of Ultra Trail. Maybe actually they're exposing more of the world to skyrunning, and that's going to help grow the sport.
Yeah, like my problem with all of this is there's so much at the minute. Like
It's a
there's
problem.
so much. Yeah, and I think that's a massive problem. It's like I cannot keep up with skyrunning at the minute. I have very little clue who's running it, where the fucking races are, or anything about anybody in Skyrun at the minute, because there's so many other things happening that are taking my interest, and that's the fine line. Like, it's not like it's Formula One or the golf or something. It's like you're just looking at one or two things. There's so much happening in the trail running scene at the minute, which is brilliant, but it's hard to keep ahead of it all.
I if I had to fit it into boxes, I sort of look at skyrunning as like Formula 2. It's not Formula
Yeah,
One. Like, this is where some of the absolute weapons come out of, and they might come up and do the Golden Trail or whatever. And then Golden Trail is almost like the Formula One of short distance, and Ultra Trail is just a different part of the sport. Like, so that's how I think of skyrunning. Like, to keep an eye on the skyrunning scene, you're keeping an eye on a different division of the sport.
yeah,
And
that's really well put. That was actually I learned something there. That was really well put, actually. Yeah, because that is it. It's like skyrunning is the gateway to the world, to the Golden Trail Series. That's kind of what it is. Like, it's the gateway to big brands finding athletes to bring on board and sponsor. Yeah, that's actually a very
you,
good way of putting it.
you
Yeah.
look at all of the old skyrunning champions before they moved and started doing Golden Trail, like Ruth Croft, Stian Angermundsson, Killian Jornet, like all of the legends.
Mm,
They were skyrunning
yeah.
champions. So skyrunning is this kind of building place, and a great place for it too because of like the type of terrain. If
Yeah.
you can kick ass on 20K with 2,000 meters of vert,
Yeah,
you're
and
made of something.
a good point to note. If you can run canyons very fast, that doesn't make you a good sky runner.
No, and if you beat Hannes Namberger at Canyons 100K, it doesn't mean that you can win Lavaredo either.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
Right, Ricky, I think it's time to call it. We did have another section, but look, it's Friday
Y-
night. It's Trail
Yeah,
Talk Live. We're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time. So
I have
we'll
I have that actually on a tattoo on my arm. I actually have it. Yeah.
so we'll tackle this question next week. It was by coaching. It was a great one that was sent through. So catch up on the show and all the podcast players, or come back and chat to us next Friday night. And we're getting close, Ricky. Like, I was just looking at this. Next Friday night, yes. Friday after that, I am traveling.
Mm,
So I think we're going to do Trail Talk Live on a Thursday in 2 weeks' time, because the following week I'm
yeah.
racing.
Yeah, crazy. Crazy
So
that it's here already.
good
Like,
luck to Zach in the Felsbin. Good luck to Kev in the Brighton to London. Good luck to everyone running London Marathon. And to everyone else out there, enjoy your races, enjoy your running. And Ricky, I'll see you soon.
pace.
Peace.